Hello everyone, welcome to an academy and this is a course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this particular lesson covers topics like religious and social reform movements, and this is presented to you by me Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course. And moving to the first question. Consider the following statements. There was a split in the Brahma Samaj with Keshab Chandra Sen and Debendranath Tagore heading the two branches. Keshab Chandra Sen and his followers founded Brahma Samaj of India. Debendranath Tagore founded Sadharan Brahma Samaj. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, three, only one, two, three, and only one, two. And yes, there was a split in Brahma Samaj after the death of Raja Ram Mohan Rai, and there were two branches headed by Keshab Chandra Sen and Debendranath Tagore, and the one which is headed by Keshab Chandra Sen is known as the Brahma Samaj of India. Yes, the second statement is also true. And the one headed by Debendranath Tagore is known as Adi Brahma Samaj. So the third statement is incorrect, as it says that it is known as Sadharan Brahma Samaj. This is incorrect. So the answer here is D, only 1 and 2. And later after some time, even the one with Keshab Chandra headed by the Keshab Chandra Sen has seen another split, and the other split is known as the Sadharan Brahma Samaj. Which of the following can be attributed as the contribution of Brahmo Samaj? It denied that any scripture can enjoy the status of ultimate authority transcending human reason and conscience. It did not take any definite stand on the doctrine of karma. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Yes, it has denied that any scripture cannot enjoy the status of ultimate authority. So the first statement is true, and it did not take any definite stand on doctrine of karma. So even this is true. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. And it has also denounced polytheism and idol worship, and it discarded faith in divine avatars, and it has severely criticized caste system. Who opened Sanskrit college to non-Brahmins? Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Keshab Chandra Sen, Derozio, and the Sanskrit college was opened to non-Brahmins by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, who used to be a principal of the Sanskrit college. He was the principal of Sanskrit college, and he also introduced the Western thought in the Sanskrit college, and he wanted to break the isolation of Sanskritic learning. That's the reason why he has opened the Sanskrit college to non-Brahmins. Consider the following statements about Prarthana Samaj. Raising the age of marriage for both the girls and the boys was proposed by them. Emphasis was on polytheism. And yes, Prarthana Samaj was for raising the age of marriage age for both boys and girls, and it did not emphasize on polytheism, rather they have emphasized on monotheism. So the answer is A, only 1. They have emphasized on monotheism and on works rather than on faith, and their agenda is the disapproval of caste system and women's education and widow remarriage, and the prominent leaders of this is Ranade, R.G. Bhandarkar and N.G. Chandavarkar. Next one. Young Bengal movement, one of the social reform movements of 19th century. Which of the following statements about it are correct? They failed to have a long-term impact. People from almost all social groups supported. Drawn inspiration from French Revolution. Choose the correct options, and these are the options given. And Young Bengal movement was the one which was started by Derozio, and yes, they have failed to have a long-term impact. Their impact was short-lived, and not all people from all groups have supported it. Mostly their fan base is the students and the youth. So the second statement is incorrect. And as they have drawn inspiration from the French Revolution. So the answer here is only 1 and 3, that is C. And they also lacked any real link with the masses. The sixth one, All India Trade Union Congress was founded by Gopalakrishna Gokhale, Tilak, Narayan Manohar Joshi, Gopal Ganesh Agarkar. And this is the AITUC, and it is founded by N.M. Joshi, that is Narayan Manohar Joshi. And it was founded in the year 1920. The seventh one, which of the following organization has aimed to prepare a cadre of selfless workers who were ready to give their lives to the cause of country? Brahmo Samaj, Ramakrishna Movement, Satyasodhak Samaj, Social Service League. And the one which has wanted to prepare a cadre of selfless workers who were ready to give their lives is the Social Service League. And it was founded by Gopalakrishna Gokhale. Satyarth Prakash is a famous work of Dayanand Saraswati, Jyotiba Phule, Balashastri Jambekar, Swami Vivekananda. And the Satyarth Prakash is a famous work of Dayanand Saraswati. The ninth one, consider the following statements. Jamindars collected rents beyond legal limit and prevented tenants from acquiring occupancy rights. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee supported the peasants' cause. There was very little violence. The peasant revolt being described above is Deccan Riots, Pabna Revolt, Indigo Revolt, and none of the above. And the one which was supported by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee among these is the Indigo Revolt. So the answer is C. And the Jamindars used to collect the rent beyond the limit and the prevented tenants from acquiring occupancy rights. And there was very little violence in this revolt, that is Indigo Revolt. And it has occurred in the Eastern Bengal, and after this revolt 1885 Bengal Tenancy Act was passed. Consider the following statements about Sanyasi revolt. Sanyasis were estranged by the restrictions imposed on visits to holy places. Warren Hastings contained the rights by Sanyasis. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Yes, Sannyasis were restrained by the restrictions imposed, and Warren Hastings have contained rights by Sannyasis, but it was not totally contained. After some time, even again the Sannyasis have revolted. So the answer is, but if at least for some time it is contained, so even the second statement is correct. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Which of the following statements are true about peasant movements? Colonialism was the target of these movements. Territorial reach was limited. No continuity of struggle for long term. Actually, for peasant movements, it was the colonialism which was the target. Their targets were very narrow, like either to reduce the rent or to give occupancy rights or like that. So their ideology or the target is very limited in their reach, and yes, even the territorial reach was very limited, only just confined to that place. So the second statement is true, and there is no continuity for long term. Most of them are short term. So the first statement is incorrect, and 2 and 3 are true. So the answer is B, only 2 and 3. And the next one, which of the following movements were against upper caste domination? Justice Party and Naikar, Satyasodhak Samaj, both A and B, none of the above. And those which were against the upper caste domination are Justice Party and Naikar and also Satyasodhak Samaj. So the answer is C, both A and B. Who were Mapillas? Jamindars in Deccan, Muslim tenants in Malabar, peasants who participated in Indigo Revolt, tax collecting agents in Bengal. And the Mapillas were the Muslim tenants in Malabar. So the answer is B. And as the tenants, and here in Malabar, the tenants are Muslim but the landowners are Hindus. So there was a revolt of for resuming power, and that is known as Mapilla revolt. We will find it in the later course. And the next one, Mapilla movement merged with which of the following movements? Swadeshi movement, Khilafat movement, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement. And it has been merged with Khilafat movement, that is B. Consider the following statements about Eka movement. Meetings of this movement involved a symbolic religious ritual. Low caste leaders and small jamindars led the movement. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, meetings of this movement involved a symbolic religious ritual. This is true. And the low caste leaders and small jamindars have led this movement. Both the statements are true. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. And the issues are the high rent, that is more than 50% is paid as rent, and oppression of tikadars in charge of the revenue collection, and the practice of share rents. That's all for today, guys. Hope you like the course. Please do rate, review, and recommend the course. Have a nice day. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy. Hope you are all doing good, and this is the course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me Sathvika. And you can read about me over here. Please do rate, review, and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. And moving to the first question, Indian Social Conference has launched pledge movement. It was regarding widow remarriage, sati, caste discrimination, child marriage, and it was regarding child marriage. And the Indian Social Conference was founded by M.G. Ranade and Raghunath Rao, and was met for the first time in Madras in the year 1887, and from then every year it met at the same place where the Indian National Congress used to meet. For which of the following movements Gandhiji went and supported it? Aravipuram movement, Vaikom Satyagraha, Okkalinga Sangha, and all of the above. And he went and supported the Vaikom Satyagraha, which is the temple entry movement in Kerala. So the answer is Vaikom Satyagraha. And Aravipuram movement is started by Sri Narayana Guru. And despite he being belonging to a lower caste, he installed the idol of Shiva. And Vaikom Satyagraha is led by K.P. Keshava, and in the place Kerala. And Okkalinga Sangha is Mysore, and it is launched as an anti-Brahmin movement. Consider the following statements about Wahabi movement. It was started against the Britishers in Punjab. It has recognized the role of individual conscience in religion. Choose the correct statements, and these are the statements given, options given. And it is not started against the Britishers as such. It was started against the Sikhs first, and later on when the British has annexed the Punjab, then they were shifted their focus to Britishers, but the starting was against the Sikhs. So the first statement is incorrect, and yes, the second statement is correct, that it has recognized the role of individual conscience. So the answer is B, only 2. Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh was started by Syed Ahmad Khan, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, Haji Shariat Allah, Shah Abdul Aziz. And the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College at Aligarh was started by Syed Ahmad Khan. And he also started the Aligarh movement, and he opened schools in towns and got books translated into Urdu. The fifth one, Dadabhai Navroji participated in which of the following socio-religious reform movements? Deoband School, Ahmadiyya movement, Indian Social Conference, and Parsi reform movements. And Dadabhai Navroji participated in Parsi reform movement. And its aim is to regenerate the social condition of the Parsis and restoration of the Zoroastrianism. And the newspaper they have used for advertising is Rast Goftar. Which of the following are the factors for the growth of modern nationalism? Role of press and literature, Western thought and education, rediscovery of India's past. Choose the correct options. And these are the options given. And yes, the role of press and literature, Western thought and education, and rediscovery of India's past were all responsible for the growth of modern nationalism. So the answer is D, only 1, 2, and 3. And some other reasons are progressive character of socio-religious reform movements, and the rise of middle-class intelligentsia, and contemporary world politics, and also the unification of the country. Which of the following is the first newspaper in India? Madras Courier, Bombay Herald, Bengal Journal, and Bengal Gazette. And the first newspaper is the Bengal Gazette. It was started in 1780 by James Augustus Hickey. Who is called the liberator of Indian press? Lord Wellesley, Lord Hastings, Metcalfe, Ripon. And the liberator of Indian press is Metcalfe. He has because he has passed the 1835 Act, which has repealed the 1823 ordinance, which made the printing paper without permission a penal offense. Consider the following statements about Deoband movement. It started to keep alive the spirit of jihad against foreign rulers. It welcomed the formation of INC, aimed at welfare of Muslim community through Western education. Choose the correct options, and these are the options given. And yes, it has been started to keep alive the spirit of jihad against the foreign rulers, and it is also true that it has welcomed the formation of Indian National Congress, and it has aimed at the welfare of Muslim community but not through Western education. So the third statement is incorrect. Only 1 and 2 are correct. And Aligarh movement focused on improving the Muslims through Western education, and Deoband's movement is more like conservative. So it has focused on the moral and religious regeneration of Muslim communities and followed the original Islamic religion. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements. Akali movement was a regional movement but not communal. Theosophical movement has a very small base of support in form of westernized class. Choose the correct statements. And yes, Akali movement is a regional movement and it has not turned communal. So the first statement is true. And Theosophical movement has a very small base of support and mostly from westernized classes. So both the statements 1 and 2 are true. So answer is C, both 1 and 2. Who has reduced the maximum age limit for the Indian Civil Service examination from 21 years to 19 years? Ripon, Lytton, Curzon and Hastings. And the one who has reduced the ICS examination age from 21 to 19 is B. Lytton. Consider the following statements about British Indian Association formed by merging of Landholders Society and Bengal British Indian Society. It has asked the government to reduce the salaries of higher officers. Choose the correct statement. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, British India Society was formed by merging the Landholder Society or the Zamindar Society with Bengal British India Society. So the first statement is true. And it has also asked the government to reduce the salaries of higher officials. So both the statements 1 and 2 are true. And some other suggestions are the separation of executive from the judiciary and abolition of the salt duty, abkari and stamp duties. And the 13th one, who was the first woman to address the Congress session? Madam Kama, Annie Besant, Sarojini Naidu, Kadambini Ganguly. And the first woman to address is the Kadambini Ganguly, and she was the first woman graduate of Calcutta University. What is safety valve theory? Formation of INC for releasing growing discontent of the Indians, number of goods that should be exported by colonies other than English, reasons for reunification of extremists and moderates, both A and B. And the safety valve theory is the formation of INC for releasing the growing discontent of Indians. When Evo Hume has brought some active nationalists into one roof, like in the form of Indian National Congress, many have told that it is the safety valve theory. So the answer is A. Which historian has commented that Congress has used Hume as lightning conductor? Rakesh Sharma, Ramchandra Guha, Bipin Chandra and Sharat Chandra. And the one who has considered the Hume as lightning conductor is C. Bipin Chandra. And that's all for today, guys. Have a nice day. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy. Hope you're all doing good, and this is a course on MCQs from Modern Indian History, and this is presented to you by me Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. And moving to the first question of the day. Consider the following statements. First session of the Indian National Congress was held in Bombay. In 1892, INC held its meeting in London, the first and the last one to be held outside India. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And yes, the first session of the Indian National Congress was held in Bombay. That is true in 1885. And the second statement is incorrect, as they have planned to hold a meeting in 1892 in London, but due to the general elections that was not happened, and later also nothing has materialized to keep the meeting in London, so no meeting was done outside India. So the second statement is incorrect. So the answer is A, only one. The Imperial Legislative Council was formed under Government of India Act 1858, Indian Councils Act 1861, Model Minto Reforms, Charter Act 1833, and it was materialized under Indian Councils Act 1861. It means the legislative councils are established at the center and in the provinces, and the councils can also include the non-official members. Moderate nationalist demands were centered around greater participation of Indians in councils, greater control over finances. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Moderate nationalists were the early nationalists who have fought for the Swaraj, and most of the demands were centered around the greater participation of Indians in councils and the greater control of finances. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statements about Indian Councils Act 1892. Enlarge the size and functions of the Central Council while the number remains same in provinces. Budget could be discussed. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And if you see the first statement, they are saying that the size and functions of the Central Council was enlarged, but the provinces was kept the same. But like this rarely happens, like center being enlarging and the provinces being in the same way, and in the Indian Council Act this did not happen, as the size and functions of the central as well as the provinces were enlarged. So the first statement is incorrect, and the previously budget could not be discussed, but from Indian Councils Act budget could be discussed, but there is no right to vote. So the answer is only B, only 2, that is B. The fifth one, no taxation without representation, is the slogan given by moderates, extremists, revolutionaries, Wahabis, and it was given by moderates, that is A. Consider the following statements about moderate nationalism. Long-term objective is democratic self-government. Nationalists fail to win the democratic base. They have not demanded the right to vote for all. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And yes, the long-term objective of the moderate nationalists was to attain democratic self-government, and the nationalists have failed to widen the democratic base. Like they did not reach to the masses, and they thought that masses were not ready for the struggle against the colonists. So the second statement is true, and they have not demanded the right to vote for all. Even this one is true. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. The seventh one, Viceroy of India during the establishment of Congress is Lytton, Ripon, Dufferin and Lansdowne, and during the Congress establishment the Viceroy is Dufferin. Consider the following statements about Vernacular Press Act. Nicknamed as the Gagging Act, there was no right to appeal. Differentiation between English and vernacular newspapers. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And yes, it was nicknamed as the Gagging Act, and there was no right to appeal, and the Vernacular Plus Act has differentiated between the English and the vernacular newspapers. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. And the Vernacular Press Act is passed by Lytton. Militant's school of thought has evolved by the dawn of 20th century. The basic tenets of the school are direct political action, Swaraj to be the goal of the national movement, personal sacrifices required. Generally, the moderate nationalists thought that their struggle should be on the basis of the constitutional lines, but the Militant school has proposed that the struggle should contain some personal sacrifices, and those who are willing to personal sacrifices are the most eligible ones to fight against the colonists. And they have the basic tenets were the direct political action. Yes, that's true. And they did not want to follow a constitutional they fight constitutionally or such. They can do it by any directly, so their choice was direct political action. And the Swaraj to be the goal of national movement. Yes, that is also true. And the personal sacrifices are required. Even this is true. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. And the other principles are hatred for foreign rule and the belief in the capacity of masses. Which of the following events took place after the declaration of the partition of Bengal? Huge amount of money was collected through huge gatherings. People sang Bande Mataram and tied Rakis to each other as a symbol of unity. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, another 1 not 2. Yes, the partition of Bengal was declared in 1905 on October 16th, and yes, huge amount of money was collected through huge gatherings, and people sang Bande Mataram, and they have done baths in the Ganga, tied Rakis to each other as a symbol of unity between the Hindus and Muslims. And so the answer is C, both 1 and 2. And Surendranath Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose have addressed the gatherings, and this gathering has collected almost 50,000 rupees in 1 hour or so. And the 11th one, Swadeshi movement was spread to Madras under the leadership of Rajaji, Dadabhai Nauroji, Chidambaram Pillai, Syed Haider Raza. And the Swadeshi movement was spread in the Madras province by Chidambaram Pillai, that is C. And the Rajaji has spread the Sal Satyagraha in the Madras province, and Chidambaram Pillai the Swadeshi movement. And Syed Haider Raza has spread it in Delhi, and Tilak in Bombay, and Lajpat Rai and Ajit Singh in Punjab. The goal of Indian National Congress is declared as Swaraj or self-government. Which of the following is true about the session? Dadabhai Nauroji was the president of this session held at Bombay. There was no specific definition given to Swaraj. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, Dadabhai Nauroji was the president of the session in which the goal of National Congress was declared as Swaraj, but the session was held at Calcutta, not Bombay. So the first statement is incorrect. And yes, there was no specific definition given to Swaraj. That's the reason why many has assumed different definitions which was liked by them. So the answer is only 2, that is B. Which of the following rebellions happened in South India? Rampa revolt, Polygar's revolt, Divan Veluthampi's revolt. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And the Rampa revolt is in Andhra Pradesh, so South India, yes. And Polygar's revolt in Malabar region, even this is true. And the Divan Veluthampi's revolt in Travancore. So all the 3 revolts were happened in South India. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. And the Rampa revolt was carried on by the Hills tribesmen of the Rampa region in the coastal Andhra, and it is against the restrictive forest regulations. And the Polygar's revolt is by Polygars of Dindagal on the Malabar, and they were rose up against the oppressive land revenue system. And the Divan Veluthampi's revolt is undertaken at Travancore, as Travancore has signed the subsidiary alliance system, but it has failed to pay the subsidy and it has fell in arrears. So the Divan Veluthampi raised against the company. The National Council of Education was set up during the movement, Swadeshi movement, Rowlatt Satyagraha, non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement. The answer is A, Swadeshi movement. As the name suggested, the Swadeshi movement has seen that everything we should not depend on Britishers, but rather we should focus on developing our own indigenous things like like our own cloth like cotton, and our own schools or our own education system, and in that way the National Council of Education was set up during the Swadeshi movement, and it was set up on the day August 15, 1906. And the last one, scholarship offered by Indian Society of Oriental Art was first received by Rabindranath Tagore, Mukunda Das, Rajnikant Sen, Nandlal Bose, and the first one to receive the scholarship offered by Indian Society of Oriental Art is D. Nandlal Bose. That's all for today, guys. Have a nice day. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy, and this is the course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please rate, review and recommend the course. And moving to the first question. Which of the following are the programs undertaken by extremists during Swadeshi movement? Traditional festivals were used to gather the masses, emphasis given to self-reliance, corps of volunteers or samitis emerged as best for mass mobilization, and choose the correct options. Yes, traditional festivals were utilized for to gather the masses by the extremists, and for example the Shivaji and the Ganesh festivals. So the first statement is true, and the emphasis was given to self-reliance. Yes, this is also true. And the corps of volunteers or samitis like Swadesh Bandhab Samiti were emerged for the mass mobilization. So the answer is D 1, 2 and 3. And Swadesh Bandhab Samiti was started by Ashwini Kumar Ghosh, and some other methods which extremists have followed is the boycott of foreign goods and public meetings, possessions, and program of Swadeshi or national education, and to impact in the cultural sphere, and also the Swadeshi or indigenous enterprises. The impact in culture sphere is that, and to portray India as a one which is not under the hand, which was not ruled, which is not always ruled or subordinate to any other country, and it has its own history and past. Now the second one, which of the following sections of the society participated in the Swadeshi movement? Students, urban middle class women, upper and middle class Muslims. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And yes, students were participated in the Swadeshi movement, and even upper middle class women for the first time have participated in the Swadeshi movement. So 1 and 2 are correct, and upper and middle class Muslims have not participated in Swadeshi movement as they are in favor of the partition of the Bengal, as Dhaka has become the capital for them. So third statement is incorrect. So the answer is A, only 1 and 2. Which of the following were true about annulment of partition of Bengal? To curb revolutionary terrorism, they annulled the partition. Capital was shifted to Dhaka to stop Muslims, and Bihar and Orissa were taken out of Bengal. And coming to the answer, and yes, to curb the revolutionary terrorism, the annulment partition was annulled, and the capital was shifted to Delhi and not Dhaka. So the second statement is incorrect. And Bihar and Orissa, which were first part of the Bengal province, were taken out, and they were regarded as a separate province. So the answer is C, only 1 and 3. What are the reasons for the end of Swadeshi movement? Failed to create effective organization. Movement became leaderless. Yes, both these two statements are true, and these are the reasons for the end of the Swadeshi movement. As most of the leaders were arrested, it has become leaderless, and they did not create an effective organization. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statements. Tilak opposed the Age of Consent Bill. For Tilak, Swaraj meant complete independence from foreign rule. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And the Age of Consent Bill is to increase the marriageable age of girls from 10 to 12, but Tilak has opposed it. And yes, this is true. And for Tilak, Swaraj doesn't mean the complete independence, but for him it is just some form of self-government. So the answer is A, only 1. And Aurobindo meant that Swaraj meant complete independence, and for Tilak, Swaraj meant some sort of independence. And Age of Consent Bill is to raise the marriageable age of girls from 10 to 12 years, which the Tilak has opposed. The sixth one, Widow Remarriage Act was passed in 1856. The Governor General during the time is Lord Hardinge, Lord Dalhousie, Lord Canning, Lord Pinto, and during the reign of Lord Dalhousie, the Widow Remarriage Act was passed. So the answer is B, Lord Dalhousie. Consider the following statements about Tebaga movement. The storm center of the movement was Chennai. To implement the Flood Commission recommendation to give 2/3 shares to sharecroppers, and coming to the answer, the storm center of the movement is not Chennai but it is in Bengal. So the first statement is incorrect. And to implement the Flood Commission recommendation, 2/3 of the shares are to be given to the sharecropper. This is true. So the answer is only 2. And it was happened in 1946, and the main center is North Bengal, and Muslims have also actively participated in this. And communists went to the countryside and took the floor to the sharecropper's home for threshing and not to the jotedar's house. The newspapers and journals advocating revolutionary terrorism include Sandhya, Yugantar, Kal, Horizon. Choose the correct statements 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you see, Horizon is a newspaper started by Gandhi for the lower caste sections of the society. So we can eliminate 4 as it is not the revolutionary terrorist newspaper or a journal. So when we eliminate 4 from the options, we are left with only one, that is A. So we can easily mark it as A, only 1, 2 and 3. But apart from that, even Sandhya, Yugantar and Kal are the relative revolutionary terrorist newspapers. Consider the following statements about Mitra Mela. Started by Rasbihari Bose and Sachin Sanyal, it was a secret society which later merged with Abhinav Bharat. And these are the options given. And Mitra Mela is not started by Rasbihari Bose or Sachin Sanyal, but it was started by Savarkar brothers. So the first statement is incorrect. And it was a secret society which later merged to Abhinav Bharat. Yes, that is true. So the answer is B, only 2. Shyamji Krishna Verma has started Indian Home Rule Society, India House at Berlin, Singapore, Canada and London. And he has started in London, that is D. Savarkar was transported for life in Alipur conspiracy case, Nasik conspiracy case, bomb attack and Hardinge, and both B and C. And he was transported to life in Nasik conspiracy case, that is B. Consider the following statements about Morley Minto reforms. Separate electorates for Muslims were proposed. Elected members were indirectly elected. Can vote separate items in the budget. And the Morley Minto reforms have proposed these separate electorates for the first time was proposed by Morley Minto reforms, that is Government of India Act 1909. And elected members were generally indirectly elected, and they can also vote in separate items of the budget. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. Which of the following reactions are true about the actions to be taken in India during the First World War? Extremists have supported the British as a matter of duty, and moderates supported in view of British would repay loyalty in the form of self-rule, and revolutionaries decided to wage a war. Actually, extremists supported in the view that British would repay, and moderates supported it as a matter of duty. So both these statements are interchanged. So both 1 and 2 are incorrect, and only 3 is correct. So the answer is C, only 3. Railway lane from Bombay to Thane was laid down by Lord Canning, Lord Cornwallis, Lord Dalhousie, Lord Auckland, and it is Lord Dalhousie. And the first railway line is from Bombay to Thane, and it was laid down in the year 1853. Viceroy who repealed Vernacular Press Act is Lord Ripon, Lord Curzon, Lord Lytton, Lord Dufferin. The Vernacular Press Act was introduced by Lord Lytton, but it was repealed by Lord Ripon. So the answer is A, Lord Ripon. And it was repealed in the year 1882. And that's all for today, guys. Hope you like the course. Please do rate, review and recommend the course. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy, and this is the course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. Consider the following statements about Ghadar Party. The headquarters are at San Francisco. It was to organize assassination of officials, publish revolutionary literature. Choose the correct options. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one or two. And yes, its headquarters are at San Francisco. And it was to organize assassinations of officials and public revolutionary. So the answer is C, both one and two. Consider the following statements. Swadesh Sevak Home is at Seattle. United India House at Vancouver. Choose the incorrect options. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And if you see this, the Swadesh Sevak Home is at Vancouver and the United India House is at Seattle. So both these one are interchanged. So the answer is C, both one and two, as they are asking incorrect statements. Komataga Maru is or are tribe in Burma who fought the Afghan wars. Ship which carried Indian soldiers to Burma. Ship which carried passengers mainly Sikh to Canada. None of the above. And it is the ship which is carrying Sikh passengers to Canada. Consider the following statements. To stop Ghadar movement, Defence of India Act was passed. Ghadar movement preached militant nationalism with a completely secular approach. Yes, that is true that British has passed Defence of India Act to stop the Ghadar movement, and Ghadar movement has preached the militant nationalism with a completely secular approach. It did not lineate itself to any of the particular religion. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Subramanya Iyer renounced his knighthood during Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, arrest of any peasant, Chowri Chowra incident, partition of Bengal. And the one who has renounced his knighthood during Jallianwala Bagh Massacre is Rabindranath Tagore, and as Subramanya Iyer has renounced his knighthood during the arrest of Annie Besant, which happened during the Home Rule League. So the answer is B. The session of INC, which saw the unification of moderates and extremists, was Calcutta, Lucknow, Madras, Lahore, and the unification of moderates and extremists were at Lucknow and through Lucknow Pact. In the year 1916, Congress and Muslim League have signed it. Consider the following. Which of the following are the reasons for coming together of Muslim League and Congress in 1916? Muslim League, dominated by younger nationalists, is oriented towards Congress objectives and turned anti-imperialist. Refusal of British government in India to set up university at Aligarh and affiliate colleges all over India. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. Yes, Muslim League, which were dominated by younger nationalists during that time, were not much oriented towards the imperialist policies, and they turned anti-imperialist. And the refusal of British government to set up the Aligarh University at Aligarh has also increased the chances of coming together of Muslim League and Congress. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Which of the following is not the joint demand put forward by the Muslim League and Congress? Should confer self-government on Indians at early stage, separate electorates for Muslims and depressed classes, half the members of Viceroy's Executive Council to be Indians, expansion of Legislative Council. And the one which is not the part of the demands of Muslim League and Congress is that separate electorates for Muslims and depressed classes. Actually, they have only demanded for separate electorate for Muslims and not for depressed classes. So the answer is B. Which of the following are the differences between moderates and extremists? Moderates insisted on use of constitutional methods only. Extremists rejected the providential mission theory as an illusion. Both were ready to sacrifice their lives for the country. Yes, moderates have insisted on the constitutional methods only, as we have discussed in the previous lesson, and extremists have rejected the providential mission theory. And as we have seen in the previous lesson, that only the extremists were ready to sacrifice their life and not moderates, and moderates were not ready as such to give their life. So the answer is A, only 1 and 2. Consider the following statements about Montfort reforms, that is Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, and the statements are: subjects in executive were divided into reserved and transferred. Legislative council could reject budget and cannot be restored. Women were also given right to vote. And coming to the answer, the subjects in executive were divided into reserved and transferred, yes, and the legislative council could not reject the budget, and but it can restore the budget, and the governor has every right to restore the budget again. So the second statement is incorrect, and women were given the right to vote, yes, that is true. So the answer is C, only 1 and 3. And the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms are happened in 1919. Governor can restore the budget if necessary, and the reserve subjects are administered by the governor through his executive council, and the transfer subjects are administered by the ministers from the elected members of the legislative council. And administration of the transfer subjects can be taken over by the governor in case of any failure of the constitutional machinery. It is similar to our president's rule. And moving to the next one. Viceroy of India during the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre was Lord Chelmsford, Lord Minto, Lord Reading, Lord Irwin. And the Viceroy is Lord Chelmsford. Consider the following statements about Deccan riots. It was broadly against Raitwari system. Most of the money lenders were outsiders, Marwaris and Gujaratis. Deccan Agriculturalist Relief Act was passed to repress the movement. And yes, coming to the answer, they were broadly against Raitwari system, and most of the money lenders were outsiders, that is Marwaris or Gujaratis. And Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act was passed to repress the movement. Yes, all the statements are true, so the answer is D. No confidence movement motion was introduced for the first time through Government of India Act 1848, Indian Councils Act 1892, Minto Morley reforms, Montfort reforms, and it was introduced by Montfort reforms, that is Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, in the year 1919. Consider the following statements about Montfort reforms. In Viceroy's Executive Council of 8, three were to be Indians. Council of State has a tenure of 5 years and had women and male members for the first time. And yes, Viceroy's Executive Council strength is 8, and of that 3 were Indians. And the Council of State has a tenure of 5 years, but it has only male members, and women members were not part of the council. So the second statement is incorrect. So the answer is A, only 1. Montagu-Chelmsford reforms were announced to pacify the Indians, especially moderates. The agitation by Indians during the time was Swadeshi movement, Home Rule League, Rowlatt Satyagraha, Khilafat movement. And it was Home Rule League, that is B. That's all for today, guys. Hope you like the course. Please do rate, review and recommend the course. Have a nice day. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy, and this is a course on MCQs from modern Indian history. This is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course. And coming to the first question, diarchy was introduced for the first time through Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, Charter Act of 1833, Morley-Minto reforms, Government of India Act 1848, and it was introduced through Montagu-Chelmsford reforms, which is also called as Government of India Act 1919. And diarchy is a provincial government, and executive has a role of 2, that is the executive councillors and popular ministers are part of the executive, and the governor is the executive head. And before coming to India, Gandhiji fought for Indians in South Africa. Gandhiji has fought against which of the following problems: restrictions on Indian marriages, invalidation of Indian marriages, registration certificates. Choose the correct statements, and these are the options given. And yes, Gandhiji has fought in South Africa against the registration of Indian marriages and invalidation of Indian marriages and registration certificate. And invalidation of marriage is that the Supreme Court has invalidated all the marriages which were not conducted according to the Christian rites and are not registered by the government, by the registrar of marriages. So all those who went from India, they are not married through Christian rites, because not all of them are Christians and most of them are Hindus and Muslims, etc. So all those marriages have become illegal. So Gandhiji has conducted a movement against it. And regarding the registration certificates, there was a new legislation passed that everyone should carry the registration certificate wherever they go. And Gandhiji has launched a passive resistance campaign against it, and Gandhiji has publicly burned those registration certificates. The newspaper started by Gandhiji in South Africa: Natal India, Indian Opinion, Harijan, both A and B. And Harijan is a newspaper started by Gandhiji, but not in South Africa, but in India. So the C is wrong. And Natal India, there is no such newspaper started by Gandhiji. So the answer is B, Indian Opinion. And Gandhiji has started Natal Indian Congress, but not a newspaper. It's not a newspaper, but it's like an organization. So here the answer is B, Indian Opinion. The Satyagraha against the Tinkatiya system is Champaran Satyagraha, Allahabad Mill Workers Strike, Keda Satyagraha, Rowlatt Satyagraha. And the one which has fought against the Tinkatiya system is Champaran Satyagraha in Bihar. And it was the problems of indigo planters, and 3/20 of the land is to be cultivated in indigo. But when German synthetic dyes have replaced indigo, there is a competition, and to end, as German synthetic dyes used to be cheaper, most of them used to buy the German synthetic dyes. Then to earn the profits, European planters have demanded high rates of interest from peasants. Consider the following statements: Champaran Satyagraha, first civil disobedience; Ahmedabad mill strike, first hunger strike; Keda Satyagraha, first non-cooperation. Which one of the above comparison is true? And these are the options given. And yes, Champaran Satyagraha is the first civil disobedience, and Ahmedabad mill strike, first hunger strike, and Keda Satyagraha is the first non-cooperation movement seen in the Indian history. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. Consider the following statements about Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. People gathered to protest against the arrest of their leaders Saifuddin Kichlu and Satyapal. Debendranath Tagore renounced his knighthood. Choose the correct statements, and these are the options given. Yes, people have gathered in Jallianwala Bagh to protest against the arrest of their leaders Saifuddin Kichlu and Satyapal. Even this is true, but there is an section undergoing in Jallianwala Bagh that but group of people should not gather. But as people did not know that they have gathered, and then the after effects you all know. And Debendranath Tagore renounced his knighthood. This is absolutely wrong, because it is Rabindranath Tagore who renounced his knighthood. So the answer is A, only 1. And moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about non-cooperation movement. It has seen the largest participation of Muslim masses alongside of Congress. Khilafat issue is not directly linked to the Indian politics. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, non-cooperation movement is one of the movements in the Indian history which has seen the largest participation of Hindu-Muslim masses, and it also has seen the Hindu-Muslim unity is at its peaks during the non-cooperation movement. So the first statement is true, And yes, Khilafat issue is not directly linked to the Indian politics. It is mostly about the Khalifa being dismissed from the rule of Turkey. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Khilafat committee was formed under the leadership of Jinnah and Maulana Azad, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, Gandhiji and Azmal Khan, all of the above. And it was under the leadership of Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, also known as Ali brothers. So the answer is B. And apart from Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, Maulana Azad, Ajmal Khan and Ashrat Mohani have also are under the Khilafat committee. Which of the following events helped in the Hindu-Muslim unity found during non-cooperation movement? Lucknow Pact, Rowlatt Act agitations. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, before the non-cooperation movement has started, Lucknow Pact has been signed in 1960, and Rowlatt Act agitations have also united the Hindus and Muslims. So answer is C, both 1 and 2. And the Hunter Commission or committee deals with education, Punjab atrocities, constitutional reforms, both A and B. And Hunter Commission, two types of Hunter Commissions we can see. The one is for education and one is for Punjab atrocities, that is Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So the answer is D, both A and B. Which of the following are included in the program of non-cooperation movement? Boycott of foreign cloth, legislative council, renunciation of government honors and titles. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, those included in the program of non-cooperation movement is boycott of foreign clothes, legislative council, etc. and also renunciation of government honors and titles. So answer is C, both 1 and 2. And in for boycott of legislative council, some were against it, like C.R. Das, who were not willing but adhered to the Congress decision, and they boycotted so that there will not be another split like Surat, which has made political inactivity. So though they are not willing, but they adhered to the Congress decision. Attainment of Swaraj through peaceful and legitimate means was agreed in Calcutta session, Nagpur session, Lucknow session, Lahore session, and it was attained in Nagpur session. And previously it was only through constitutional means, and in Nagpur session it was agreed as through peaceful and legitimate means. So the answer is B, Nagpur session. Tilak Swaraj Fund has collected around 1 crore rupees during Vande Mataram movement, non-cooperation movement, Quit India movement, Dandi March, and it has collected during non-cooperation movements. The answer is B. And this is a newspaper article in Bengal Gazette about Bengal Bombay Chronicle and about the 1 crore collection. Consider the following statements about the talk between Gandhiji and Reading and its after effects. Gandhiji rejected the government's proposal to urge the Ali brothers to remove portions of their speech. Most of the leaders, including Gandhiji, was arrested. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And in the talk between Gandhiji and Reading, the Reading has requested Gandhiji to urge Ali brothers to remove portions of their speech, and but Gandhiji did not agree with that, and the talks have ended. So the first statement is true, and most of the leaders are arrested but not Gandhiji. So second statement is incorrect. Gandhi was not arrested, so the answer is A, only 1. On 1st February 1922, Gandhiji threatened to launch civil disobedience movement if his demands are not materialized. Which of the following are his demands? Political prisoners to be released, press controls to be removed. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Before the actual start of civil disobedience movement, even during the even before non-cooperation movement was ended, there were some requests for Gandhiji to start the civil disobedience movement, and then Gandhiji has put some demands before the Britishers to accept. If not, they will be starting as civil disobedience movement, and those demands are political prisoners to be released and the press controls to be removed. So both these statements are true. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. But after this, only after the few days of this put forth of the demands by Gandhiji, the Chauri Chaura incident has took place, and it has ended the non-cooperation civil disobedience movement. That's all for today, guys. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy. Hope you're all doing good, and this is the course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. Moving to the first question. Who among the following are the Swarajists? C.R. Das, Ajmal Khan, M.A. Ansari, Motilal Nehru. Choose the correct options, and these are the options given. Yes, C.R. Das is a Swarajist, Ajmal Khan is also, and Motilal Nehru is also a Swarajist. So the answer is 1, 2 and 4. And M.A. Ansari is the no changers, which we have seen the division in Swarajists and no changers. About the entry of legislative council, there is a difference of opinion among the Congress party members about entry of the legislative councils, and thereby dividing both the two branches, that is Swarajists and no changes. But they did not literally divide the Congress, or there is no split in it, but there were two groups in the Congress. Consider the following statements about Lahore session of Congress in 1930. There was a resolution of Purna Swaraj, beginning of civil disobedience movement. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, in the Lahore session in 1930, they have passed a resolution of Purna Swaraj. So first statement is true. And the civil disobedience movement is also began in the Lahore session. So answer is C, both 1 and 2. Lajpat Rai died due to lathi blows received during a lathi charge on a procession of Jallianwala Bagh Massacre wrongs, Anti-Simon Commission, against Rowlatt Act, against Mountford reforms, and it is against Anti-Simon Commission. And when there was a procession against the Anti-Simon Commission, Lala Lajpat Rai died due to the lathi blows received. Which of the following reasons can be attributed to the evolution of the two-nation theory? Shimla delegation, Molla Minto reforms, Lucknow Pact, Shuddhi and Sangathan movements. Choose the correct options, and these are the options given. And in the Shimla delegation, they have Muslims have first asked for the separate electorates, thereby dividing, thereby bringing differences in the Congress and Muslims. And this, yes, the first one is true, and Molla Minto reforms is the first one which has proposed the separate electorates for Muslims. So even this is the basic of a two-nation theory. And in Lucknow Pact, though Congress and Muslim League have united, but they didn't unite in total, but they united as a two separate political entities, and Congress has also accepted the two separate electorates for Muslims. So even that is a base for the two-nation theory. And the Shuddhi and Sangathan movement started by Arya Samaj was to they wanted to they wanted to change the Muslims into Hindus. So even this is the reason for the two-nation theory. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3, 4. Provision for one Indian appointed to Viceroy's Executive Council was in Government of India Act 1858, Minto-Morley Reforms 1909, Montford Reforms 1919, Government of India Act 1935, and it is in Minto-Morley Reforms 1909. And Satyendra Sinha is the first Indian who was elected into the Viceroy's Executive Council. Simon Commission was established to check losses incurred due to famine in Bengal, whether the partition of India is inevitable, whether India is ready for constitutional reforms, to gain support from Indians to participate in the world. And the Simon Commission has was established to check whether India is ready for constitutional reform. So the answer is C, that is and it is an all-white commission, and Congress, Hindu Mahasabha and majority of the Muslim League under Jinnah have boycotted the Simon Commission as it is an all-white commission. And next one, who challenged Indian politicians to form a constitution accepted by various political sections? Lord Birkenhead, Lord Reading, Lord Mountbatten, Lord Cripps. And it is a Lord Birkenhead. And then after that, Motilal Nehru has started framing a constitution accepting the challenge posed by Birkenhead. Which of the following are the recommendations of Nehru report? Complete independence, joint electorates with reservation of seats, linguistic provinces. Choose the correct options. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And in Nehru report, which was the constitution making, who came forward for the constitution making, has released a report called Nehru report, and they asked for dominion status and not complete independence. So the first statement is incorrect. And yes, joint electorates with reservation of seats is mentioned in the Nehru report, and linguistic provinces is also a recommendation of Nehru report. So the answer is B, only 2 and 3. And it is not complete independence, but they ask for dominion status. And some other features in some other recommendations are the 19 fundamental rights were proposed, and responsible government in center and provinces, and full protection for the cultural and religious interests of the minorities, and complete dissociation of state from religion. And the next one, which of the following were part of Delhi proposals? 1/3 representation to Muslims in Central Legislative Assembly, joint electorates with reservation for Muslims, representation to Muslims in Punjab, Bengal in respect to population, formation of 3 new Muslim majority provinces. Choose the correct options, and these are the options given. And Delhi proposals were those which were recommended to be considered by Motilal Nehru. For Motilal Nehru, these are the proposals given by the Muslim League to be considered as their recommendations to be part of the Motilal Nehru report. And yes, all these 4 statements were true, and these are the 4 proposals of Muslim League. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3, 4. And Sindh, Balochistan and Northwest Frontier Province are the Muslim majority provinces. 10th one, Independence for India League was set up by Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, C.R. Das, Ajmal Khan, Annie Besant and Tilak, none of the above. And Independence for India League is proposed after the Motilal Nehru report, and it was set up by Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose, as they are not for the dominion status which was proposed in the Nehru report, and they were for the complete independence, so have set up the Independence of India League. Delhi Manifesto was brought during Rowlatt Satyagraha, Non-Cooperation, Anti-Simon Commission Upsurge, Round Table Conference. And it was brought during the Round Table Conferences. And the demands of the Delhi Manifesto is that the RTC is to formulate a scheme for implementation of dominion status, and Congress should have the majority, and amnesty and general policy of conciliation. The 12th one, Viceroy who rejected the Delhi Manifesto was Irwin, Reading, Willingdon, Linlithgow. And the one who has rejected is Irwin. Newly adopted tricolor flag of freedom was hoisted for the first time on the banks of the river Yamuna, Ganga, Sindh, Ravi. And it was hoisted on the banks of the river Ravi. And the slogans during that time were Inquilab Zindabad. The 14th one, Gandhi gave 11 demands before the launch of Keda Satyagraha, Rowlatt Satyagraha, Civil Disobedience Movement, Quit India Movement. And it is C, Civil Disobedience Movement. Delhi proposals were those framed by Congress, Muslim League, Ambedkar, Lord Mountbatten. And they were proposed by Muslim League. As we have seen, the 4 proposals, that is 1/3 majority and separate provinces and legislative like reservation rather than the separate electorates are those of the Delhi proposals given to Motilal Nehru by Muslim League. So the answer is B. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy. Hope you are all doing good. This is a course on MCQs from modern Indian history and this is presented to you by me Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course and please do comment your score in the comment section below. Moving to the first question. Why SALT was chosen to start the movement? It offered the urban adherents the opportunity of a symbolic identification with mass suffering linked to ideal Swaraj with the most concrete and universal grievance. Yes, both these two statements are correct. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Civil disobedience movement in Kerala was led by Rajaji, Ijava, Naikar, Kelappan. And in Kerala, civil disobedience movement was led by D. Kelappan. And he led a march from Calicut to Poyanur. Which of the following groups have participated in civil disobedience movement? Women, petty leaders, tribals, peasants. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 3, 4, only 1, 4, only 1, 2, 3, all of the above. And yes, women have participated in the civil disobedience movement and even petty traders have participated. Tribals, peasants participation is also there. So the answer is D, all of the above. Who attended the first round table conference? Congress, Muslim League, Princess, Hindu Mahasabha. Choose the correct statements. Only 2, 3, 4, only 1, 4, only 1, 2, 3, all of the above. And we all know that Congress has boycotted the first roundtable conference. So we can eliminate option 1 and thereby we are left with only one option, that is A, 2, 3, 4. And we all know that Muslim League, Princess and Hindu Mahasabha have participated in the first roundtable conference. The answer is A, only 2, 3 and 4. Gandhi-Irwin Pact was also known as Roundtable Conference Pact, Delhi Pact, British Pact, no other name for it. It is also known as Round Table Conference Pact, as after this pact, Congress has agreed to participate in the Round Table Conference and that is the second Round Table Conference, and that's the reason why it is so called as Round Table Conference Pact. Sixth one, Gandhiji went on an indefinite fast against Simon Commission, Non-Cooperation Movement, INA trials, Communal Award. And he went on an indefinite fast against the Communal Award. And Communal Award is for separate electorates for the backward classes. Consider the following statements about Pune Pact. Separate electorates for depressed classes is abandoned and in place of it, seats for them was increased. Government accepted the pact as an amendment to the Communal Award. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. Yes, in the Pune Pact, the statement in the Communal Award, that is the separate electorates for depressed classes is abandoned and in place of it, the seats were reserved for them. So, the first statement is true and government has accepted that Pune Pact and it has amended the Communal Award, replacing the separate electorates as reservation of seats. So, the answer is C, both 1 and 2. And it was signed by B.R. Ambedkar. All India Anti-Untouchability League was set by Ambedkar, Majumdar, Gandhi and Nehru. And it was set by Gandhi. He started it in September 1932 while he was still in jail, and he started the weekly Harizan also, and the Harizan Sevak Sangh was also set up. Ninth one, which of the following provisions of Government of India Act was never materialized? All India Federation, bicameral legislature, provincial autonomy replacing diarchy, governor promulgating ordinances. And the one which was recommended but not materialized is All India Federation. Which of the following are the reasons for not starting immediate mass struggle after the start of Second World War? Lack of Hindu-Muslim unity can cause communal riots. Allied cause was just. Masses were not ready. Choose the correct options. Only 1, 2, only 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And yes, during that time, not much unity among the Hindu and Muslim was present, so they feared of the communal rights. So that is the reason for not starting immediate mass struggle. And as most of the congressmen have supported the English as their cause was just, so the second statement is also true. And masses were not ready at the time too, so the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. Which of the following parties characterized war as a God-sent opportunity and wanted a all-out struggle against British? The Royalist, Forward Bloc, Congress Socialist Party. Choose the correct statements. These are the options given. And yes, Royalist, the Forward Bloc started by Subhash Chandra Bose and the Congress Socialist Party have regarded war as a God-sent opportunity. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. Individual Satyagraha was started after the August Offer, Cripps Mission, Cabinet Mission Plan immediately after the start of Second World War. And individual Satyagraha was started after the August Offer, and the Vinoba Bhave is the first one to undergo the individual Satyagraha, first one to offer Satyagraha. And the reasons for starting the individual Satyagraha is that to show that their patience is not their weakness is not due to weakness, and they are ready to start a movement, but it's just their consideration towards the British which was stopping them, and to express that they were not interested in war, and it is also to give an opportunity to the government to accept the demands of Congress. Viceroy who declared August Offer: Lord Willingdon, Lord Linlithgow, Stafford Cripps, Lord Wavell. And the one who declared August Offer is Lord Linlithgow. Consider the following statements about August Offer: expansion of Viceroy's Executive Council, setting up Constituent Assembly after war, no future adoption of Constitution without consent of minorities. Choose the correct options. And yes, August Offer has specified for the expansion of Viceroy's Executive Council, and they have also has a provision of setting up a Constitution Assembly after the war, and no future adoption of Constitution without the consent of minorities. So the answer is D, only 1, 2, 3. And apart from this, it has also recommended the dominion status for India. And in July 1941, the Viceroy's Executive Council, which has a total strength of 12, and of the 12, 8 were Indians, but the major portfolios like defense, finance and home were still in the hands of Britishers. Any province not willing to join the union could have separate constitution and form a separate union, which made the evolution of Pakistan is first proposed by, and this was the one which has made the idea of Pakistan, or it has boosted up the idea of Pakistan, and it was first proposed by the Cripps Mission. That is B. And that's all for today, guys. Hope you like the course. Please do rate, review, recommend the course. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy, and this is a course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. Moving to the first question, which of the following are the proposals of Cripps Mission? Dominion status to Indian Union, defense of India would be in the hands of British, and Governor General's powers intact. Constituent Assembly would be convened after the war. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 1, 3, only 2, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And yes, Cripps Mission has proposed for the dominion status to India, and the defense of India would be in the hands of British, and the Governor General's post will be there, and Constituent Assembly would be convened after the Second World War. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. What are not the reasons for sending Cripps to India with constitutional proposals? They are asking for not. And pressure on the British from USA, USSR, China. Gandhi is about to start a mass movement. India agreed to support the war if substantial power was transferred. Choose the correct options. Only 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And yes, there was there was a pressure on British from USA, USSR and Russia to make India willing to the war, and so they have sent the Cripps mission. So this is the reason for sending. And Gandhi is about to start a mass movement is not the reason, as he is not in the favor of starting a mass movement against the British during that time. And yes, India agreed to support the war if substantial power is transferred much before the war. That is, most of the times British will be saying that it will be given the power to constitute a constituent assembly after the war, but Congress was in the viewpoint that it should be convened before the world war, because even during the World War One they have told that dominion status will be given after the war, but it has not happened. So they didn't believe in the British statements. So the third one is also the reason for sending Cripps, and so the answer here is only 2, as it is not the reason. So the answer is B. Delhi Chalo movement was associated with individual satyagraha, civil disobedience movement, Quit India movement, INA trials. And the Delhi Chalo movement was associated with individual satyagraha, and we have seen before that Vinoba Bhave was the first one to start it. And regarding Delhi Chalo movement, and these satyagrahis who have taken up the satyagraha would go to the villages. British thought would go to the villages, and they used to gather the support from them, and with the villagers they thought of going to Delhi and show the power or their might to the Britishers. So this was known as the Delhi Chalo movement, and it was associated with individual satyagraha. The Quit India movement was started aftermath of August Offer, Cripps Mission, Cabinet Mission Plan, CR Formula, and it was started after Cripps Mission. Consider the following statements about Bardoli Satyagraha. Government increased the land revenue by 30%, which sparked the revolt. Women of Bardoli gave Vallabhbhai Patel the title Sardar. Choose the correct statements, and these are the options given. And yes, Bardoli Satyagraha started because the land revenue was increased by almost 30%. So the first statement is true. And women of Bardoli has gave Vallabhbhai Patel the title Sardar, and that's the reason why we call him the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So the answer here is C, both 1 and 2. Which of the following uprisings took place in Bengal or eastern India? Coal Mutiny, Sanyasi Revolt, Santal Revolt, Pagalpanthis. Choose the correct options, and these are the options given. And yes, all these 4 revolts took place in the region of Bengal or eastern India. So the answer is D, only 1, 2, 3, 4. The federal court, which could settle disputes between government and could hear limited appeals from High Court, is set up by Minto Morley reforms, Montfort reforms, Government of India Act 1935, none of the above. And it was set up by Government of India Act 1935. And we all know that Supreme Court was set up with the Regulating Act 1773, and now the Federal Court with Government of India Act 1935. Who has first proposed that making of constitution would be solely in the hands of Indians? August Offer, Cripps Mission, Cabinet Mission Plan, Rajaji Formula. And we know that both the August Offer and Cripps Mission have a provision of constituting a constituent assembly, but in August Offer it says that mainly in the hands of Indians, but here it is solely in the hands of Indians. So the answer is B, Cripps Mission. Why Quit India movement was started? Failure of Cabinet Mission Plan, raising prices due to war caused dissent among the people, British collapse in Southeast Asia and treatment meted out to Indians during evacuation. Choose the correct statements. And yes, the failure of Cabinet Mission Plan is not true. It is the Cripps Mission Plan which has started the Quit India movement, and rising prices due to war caused dissent among the people. Yes, this is true. And the British collapse in Southeast Asia and the treatment meted out to the Indians during the evacuation and the Indian soldiers has moved Gandhi. So he has started the Quit India movement, and so the answer here is only 2 and 3, that is C. Which of the following is not correct about Cabinet Mission Plan? Provincial grouping, entering Cabinet of Indians, constitution framing right, acceptance of Pakistan. And if we see, cabinet mission plan did not accept the formation of Pakistan, so the answer is D. And it has rejected the idea of Pakistan, and it has proposed that the states will be, or the provinces will be divided into groupings called A, B and C, and the provincial assemblies to elect the constitution assembly, and princely states to have free arrangements with successive government or British, and province free to come out of the union in future. And if it wants to come out of the union, it has the power to come out. And the 11th one, consider the following statements about Quit India movement. It was ratified in the AICC meeting held at Bombay. All prominent leaders were arrested before the start of the movement. Choose the correct options. And yes, it was ratified in AICC meeting which was held at Bombay. So the first statement is true. And almost all the prominent leaders of the movement were arrested on August 9th, on the day before the start of the movement. So the answer here is C, both 1 and 2. And the 12th one, which of the following is the reason for Gandhiji's fast in February 1943? Answer to an extortion by the government to condemn violence, to stop violence in Quit India movement, demand 35% increase in wages for Allahabad mill workers, none of the above. And it is to answer the extortion by government to condemn the violence. 13th one, correct chronological order of the following events in Indian history: August offer, Shimla conference, Cripps mission, cabinet mission plan. And the correct order is, it is August offer, and then Cripps mission, and then Shimla conference, and then cabinet mission plan. So the answer here is 1, 3, 2, 4, that is B. And the August offer is in 1940, Cripps mission in 19, and Shimla conference in the year 1945, and cabinet mission plan in the year 1946. And the 14th one, Pakistan Day was observed in the year 1929, 1943, 1940, 1905, and it was in the year 1943. The last one, consider the following statements about Quit India movement. Parallel governments were formed, morale of the people raised, youth, women, government officials participated. Choose the correct options. 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And yes, parallel governments were formed, and the morale of people has raised, and the youth, women and government officials have participated actively in the Quit India movement. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. So that's all for today. Hope you guys like the course. Please do rate, review and recommend the course. And thank you. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy. Hope you are all doing good. And this is a course on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. And moving to the first question, consider the following statements about CR formula. Proposed a formula for Muslim League and Congress cooperation. Gandhiji was against the formula. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And yes, CR formula was proposed for the Muslim League and the Congress cooperation. So the first statement is true. And Gandhiji was in favor of formula, not against. So the second statement is wrong. So the answer is A, only 1. And Veer Savarkar is the one who is against the formula. Which of the following proposals were called post-dated checks of a crumbling bank by Gandhiji? August offer, Cripps mission, cabinet mission plan, CR formula. And the one which is called post-dated checks is the Cripps mission. As nothing has changed from August offer to Cripps mission, it is called as the post-dated checks by the Gandhiji. And move to the next one. Which of the following are the objections of Jinnah to CR formula? He wanted only Muslims of Northeast and Northwest to vote in the plebiscite. Opposed the idea of common center. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And yes, the objections proposed by the Jinnah is that only the Muslims should undergo the plebiscite and not all the population. And he also opposed the idea of common center. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Consider the following statements about Desai-Liaquat Pact. Draft proposal for the formation of interim government at the center. They succeeded in reaching consensus between Congress and League. Choose the correct statement. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And yes, it has proposed the draft proposal for formation of interim government, and they did not reach a consensus between Congress and Lead. They did not succeeded in it. So the second statement is wrong. So the answer is A, only one. Which of the following are the provisions of Desai-Liaquat Pact? 20% reserved seats for minorities, equal number of persons nominated by Congress and League in central legislature. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And yes, in Desai-Liaquat Pact, the 20% of reserved seat for minorities was proposed, and equal number of persons from Congress and the Muslim League should be nominated to the central legislature. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. What are the reasons for British coming out with the Wavell Plan after the end of World War? Nearing of general election in England, threat of Japan is still present. Government wanted to divert Indian energies into channels profitable for English. Choose the correct statements. And yes, the general election in England was nearing, and the threat of Japan is also still present, and government wanted to divert the Indian energies into channels profitable for English. And then Conservative Party was there in England, and it wanted to assume that it is considering the Indian interest. So to gain some political support in the general election, it has sent the Wavell Plan. So the answer is D, all of the above. Which of the following are the provisions of Wavell Plan? Caste Hindu and Muslims were to have equal representation. All members of Executive Council except the Governor General and Commander-in-Chief are Indians. Governor General to exercise veto on the advice of the ministers. And yes, caste Hindu and Muslims were to have equal representation. Yes, this is the provision of Wavell Plan. And all the members of Executive Council except two, that is Governor General and Commander-in-Chief, will be given for the Indians, and the Government General can exercise a veto on the advice of the ministers. Yes, even this provision is in the Wavell Plan. So the answer is D, all of the above. And apart from those provisions, some other provisions are possibilities were to be kept open for negotiations of a new constitution once the war is finally won. And reconstructed council will function as interim government within the framework of Government of India Act 1935. That is, it is not responsible to the Central Assembly. According to the 1935 Act, it is not responsible to Central Assembly. And the next one. Plebiscite on issue of separate sovereign state Pakistan is proposed by Wavell Plan, Desai-Liaquat Pact, CR Formula, both A and C. And the plebiscite was proposed by CR Formula. It is only C. The Indian National Army was first conceived by Mohan Singh, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jayaprakash Narayan, none of the above. And it was conceived by Mohan Singh, that is A. And after that, Subhash Chandra Bose has taken over the INA head, has taken over the position of INA head. And in Malaya, prisoners of war handed over by the Japan to Mohan Singh were recruited to the Indian National Army. Consider the following statements about Indian National Army agitation. It has narrow geographical reach, witnessed the participation of diverse social groups and political parties. Choose the incorrect statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And it has a very wide geographical reach, so the first statement is incorrect. And it has witnessed the participation of diverse social group. Yes, that is true. So here the answer is only one, as they are asking incorrect statements. And it has a wide geographical reach, and the nerve centers of the movement is Delhi, Bombay, UP, Punjab, Calcutta, Madras. And the INA Day was observed on November 12, 1945, and an INA week on November 5 to 11. And Indian Naval Army Week was celebrated from November 5 to 11. Moving to the next one. Royal Indian Naval Ratings upsurge was due to unpalatable food and racial discrimination, abuse by superior officers, arrest of rating for scrawling quit India on HMIS Talwar. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, all of the above. And yes, these are all the reasons for the Royal Indian Naval Ratings upsurge, all these three. So the answer is D, all of the above. Cabinet mission was sent by Attlee, Churchill, Conservative government, both A and C. And it was sent by Attlee, the new Prime Minister of Britain after the elections, and he belongs to a Labour Party. And Labour Party has won the election in 1945, and the PM is Attlee, and Churchill belongs to the Conservative Party, as we have discussed before. And moving to the next question. Which of the following are the reasons for Cabinet Mission Plan's rejection of demand of full-fledged Pakistan? Pakistan so formed will have large non-Muslim population. Deep-seated regional ties will be disturbed if Punjab and Bengal are divided. Division of armed forces would be dangerous. Choose the correct statements. These are the options given. And yes, Pakistan so formed will have a non-Muslim population in majority. So the first statement is true, and the deep-seated regional ties will also be disturbed. So the second statement is also true, and division of armed forces would be dangerous. So the answer is D, all of the above. And if you see here, 38% of the population of Northwest and 48% in Northeast are non-Muslims. So it has proposed that it is not good for the full demand of full-fledged Pakistan will not be a good idea. Cabinet Mission Plan has divided provinces into 3 sections. Punjab belongs to which section? Section A, Section B, Section C. It is not included in any section. We have already seen before that Cabinet Mission Plan has divided the provinces into 3 parts, 3 sections, and the Punjab here belongs to Section B. And mostly Section A is of Hindu majority provinces and Section B of Muslim majority provinces. And here is the list of the provinces. Have a look here. And move to the next one. Consider the following statements about Cabinet Mission Plan. It was accepted by both Congress and League. Each party has its own interpretations of the plan. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. And yes, it was accepted by both Congress and League, and each party has its own interpretation of the plan. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. For example, Congress has thought that plan is against Pakistan as grouping is optional, but later the mission has clarified that the compulsory grouping, even though division of Pakistan will not take place, right? So Congress has readily accepted that, and League's veto is also gone. So even this is the one favorable thing for Congress. And for League, Pakistan implied in compulsory grouping. In compulsory grouping, we have seen that majority Muslim majority provinces were grouped into one section. So it thought that it itself is something like a separate state, a separate country. And that's all for today, guys. Hope you like the course. Please do rate, review, and recommend the course. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to an academy. Hope your preparation is going good, and this is a video on MCQs from modern Indian history, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me here. Please do rate, review, and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. Moving to the first question. Why does Muslim League withdrew its acceptance to Cabinet Mission Plan? Cabinet Mission made clear that there will be no sovereign state of Pakistan. Nehru's statement that they are not bound by a single thing except going to the Constituent Assembly. And Congress nullified its acceptance when the grouping was made compulsory, and none of the above. And the Muslim League withdrew its acceptance when Nehru made a statement that they are not bound by any of the provisions of the Cabinet Mission except that of the Constituent Assembly. So even Muslim League has withdrew its acceptance. So the answer is B. Which of the following are part of the Attlee's statement on February 1947? Deadline was fixed for transfer of power. British powers and obligations with princely states continue even after the transfer of power. Mountbatten would replace Wavell as viceroy. And choose the correct statements, and these are the options given. And yes, deadline was fixed for transfer of power, true, and the British powers and obligations with princely states will not continue. This is incorrect. It will not continue after the transfer of power, and Mountbatten would replace the Wavell as viceroy. So the answer is C, 1 and 3. And the deadline fixed for tenure of power is June 30, 1948, and the British obligations will not continue and they would end up with a transfer of power. Who was the president of Congress in 1947? Jawaharlal Nehru, J.B. Kripalani, Pattabhi Sitaramayya, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, and the one who is the president of Congress during independence is J.B. Kripalani. And Pattabhi Sitaramayya was leader in 1948, was the president in 1948. Consider the following statements about Mountbatten Plan. Independence of princely states was ruled out and they would join either Pakistan or India, and boundary commission would be set up if the partition was to be affected, and choose the correct options, only one, only two, both one and two, neither one not two. And yes, independence of princely states was ruled out and they would be either joining the India or Pakistan, and the boundary commission would be set up if there is a partition. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. And apart from these provisions, Mountbatten Plan has also some other points, like the referendum will be placed in Northwest Frontier Province and Sylhet districts of Bengal, whether they want an separate Pakistan or not, and Sindh takes its own decision, and accession of Hyderabad to Pakistan is ruled out, and freedom on August 15th, 1947 is fixed, and independence of Bengal is also ruled out, and in case of partition there will be 2 dominions and 2 constituent assemblies for each India and Pakistan. And the next one, why Congress accepted dominion status of Mountbatten Plan? Ensure peaceful and quick transfer of power. Important for Congress to assume authority to check the explosive situation. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, none of the above, all of the above. And yes, though Mountbatten Plan has proposed for the dominion status, the Congress has accepted it because to ensure the peaceful and quick transfer of power, and it is all, the situation is not good that with Muslims wanting a separate state and more communal violence taking place. So the Congress wanted to assume the authority quickly and check that the explosive situation would come into control. So the answer is C, D, all of the above. Consider the following statements about India Independence Act 1947. British Parliament ratified Mountbatten Plan as India Independence Act. Act provided for creation of 2 dominions of India and Pakistan. Yes, these both the statements are absolutely true, and the India Independence Act is the one which Mountbatten Plan has been placed, and it was ratified by the British Parliament as the India Independence Act, and the act provided for creation of both India and Pakistan. So it has divided India, and so the answer is D, all of the above. The Balkan Plan was the brainchild of Churchill, Attlee, Mountbatten, Cripps, and it was the brainchild of Mountbatten. Mountbatten Plan is also known as Balkan Plan. Why Congress accepted for partition of India? Imposed by British, India otherwise would have lost opportunity to attain independence. To avoid large-scale communal rights, principle of two-nation theory was liked by Congress. This is absolutely wrong, that principle of two-nation theory was liked, and it has accepted only to avoid the large-scale communal rights. Consider the following statements. INA was formed outside the Indian territory. Women played an active role in INA. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, none of the above, all of the above. And yes, INA was formed outside the Indian territory. That is true. And women also played an active role in the INA. The answer is D, all of the above. Arrange the following in chronological order. Nehru Report, Anti-Semen Commission Upsurge, Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Purna Swaraj Resolution. And if you see here, it is the first Anti-Simon Commission upsurge, and after that Lord Birkenhead has challenged Indians to form the constitution. Then came the Nehru report, and then came the Purna Swaraj resolution when the Nehru report was of dominion status, and next as English has not accepted it, and then in the session headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, the Purna Swaraj resolution was accepted, and then next it comes the Gandhi-Irwin Pact to for the Congress participation in RTC and ending up of civil disobedience movement. So the answer is A, 2143. And yes, Anti-Simon Commission upsurge was in the year 1929, and Nehru report in 28, and Purna Swaraj in 29. Sorry, this should be 27, I guess. So please make a change. And Gandhi-Irwin Pact is in 1931. Which of the following is not proposed by Cripps mission? Grant of dominion status, constituent assembly, interim government setup, none of the above. A dominion status was proposed, setting up of a constituent assembly is also proposed, and interim government is also proposed, so the answer is D, none of the above. The slogan, "You give me blood, I will give you freedom," is given by Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jinnah, Bhagat Singh, and this is the statement given by Subhash Chandra Bose during the formation of INA. The death of Subhash Chandra Bose is mysterious. The commission formed to inquire about it is Shahnawaz Commission, Khosla Commission, Mukherjee Commission, all of the above. And yes, all these three commissions were formed to investigate about the Subhash Chandra Bose death. So the answer is D, all of the above. India Wins Freedom is the autobiography of Subhash Chandra Bose, Gandhi, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, none of the above. And it was the autobiography of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So the answer is D, none of the above. Who of the following suggested winding up of Congress after the independence? Rajaji, Vallabhbhai Patel, Jayaprakash Narayan, Gandhiji. And the one who has suggested to wind up Congress is none other than Gandhiji. So answer is D. And that's all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy, and this is the course on MCQs from Modern Indian History, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and please do comment your score in the comment section below. Moving to the first question. With reference to the Indian history, the members of the Constituent Assembly from the provinces were directly elected by the people of those provinces, nominated by the INC and League, elected by the provincial legislative assemblies, selected by the government for their expertise. And they were elected by the provincial legislative assemblies. So the answer is C. Consider the following statements about Ambedkar. He led the Mahar movement, founded the depressed classes institution. Choose the correct options. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And yes, he has led the Mahar movement, and he has also founded the depressed classes institution. So the answer is C, both 1 and 2. Pagalpanthi, a movement was of Garo tribes, Mizo tribes, Mishmi tribes and Naga tribes. And it is a movement of Garo tribes in northeastern India. So the answer is A. Which of the following newspapers were associated with Raja Ram Mohan Rai? Sambad Kaumadi, Miratul Akbar, both A and B, neither A and B. Neither A nor B, sorry, here. And yes, both these newspapers are associated with Raja Ram Mohan Rai. The answer is C, both A and B. And Miratul Akbar is the first journal in Persian, and the Sambad Kaumadi is a weekly in Bengali. Which one of the following was Communist General of M.N. Roy? Kisan Sabha, The Worker, Anushilan, Vanguard. And the Communist General of M.N. Roy is Vanguard. The Sarabandi campaign of 1922 was led by Bhagat Singh, Vallabhbhai Patel, Chittaranjan Das, Rajguru. And the campaign was led by Vallabhbhai Patel, and it took place in Gujarat, and it is a no tax campaign which is against the taxes. And the next one, The Anarchical and Revolutionary Crime Act was popularly known as the Rowlatt Act, Pitt's India Act, Indian Arms Act, Ilbert Bill, and it is the Rowlatt Act. And it is considered as a black act by Gandhiji. Which one of the following first mooted the idea of Constitution Assembly to frame the Constitution for India? Swaraj Party in 1934, Congress in 1936, Muslim League in 1942, All Parties Conference in 1946. Clearly, we can eliminate 1942 and 1946, and it was Swaraj Party in 1934 which has first mooted the idea of Constituent Assembly. So the answer is A, Swaraj Party. Consider the following statements: Abhinav Bharat Society, V.D. Savarkar, Anushilan Samiti, Aurobindo Ghosh, Ghadar Party, Lala Hardayal. Choose the correct options. And these are the revolutionary societies in the history of India, and these are those associated with those. And yes, Abhinav Bharat Society is of V.D. Savarkar, and Aurobindo Ghosh was associated with Anushilan Samiti, and Lala Hardayal with Ghadar Party. So the answer is D, only 1, 2 and 3. Muddiman Committee report is associated with working of diarchy as laid down in the Montfort Reforms, education in British India, implementation of Government of India Act 1935, transfer of power from British to Indian government. And the Muddiman Committee report is associated with the working of diarchy as laid down in the Montfort Reforms. A Nation in Making was written by Jawaharlal Nehru, Lala Lajpat Rai, Subhash Chandra Bose, Gandhi, and it was written by Gandhiji. The Bharra dacoity was the first major venture of revolutionary terrorists of the freedom movement in Bombay, Punjab, East Bengal, Madras, and it was held at East Bengal. And the state treasury was looted. The 13th one, the educated middle class opposed the revolt of 1857, supported the revolt of 1857, remained neutral, fought against the native rulers. And the educated middle class have remained neutral. Like Raja Ram Mohan Rai, etc. They have remained neutral and they did not oppose or supported the 1857 revolt. The 14th one, Montagu characterized one of the events in the Indian history as preventive murder, killing of INA activists, massacre of Jallianwala Bagh, shooting of Mahatma, shooting of Curzon White. And the Montagu characterized the massacre of Jallianwala Bagh as a preventive murder. Answer is B. The first venture of Gandhi in all India politics was the non-cooperation movement, Rowlatt Satyagraha, Champran Satyagraha, Dandi March. And the first venture is Rowlatt Satyagraha, so the answer is B. Though Champran Satyagraha has took place much before the Rowlatt Satyagraha, this is not all India. It confined to a small place in Bihar, so the answer is B. Rowlatt Satyagraha, which has started the all India politics of Gandhiji. And that's all for today, guys. Hope you like the course. Please do rate, review and recommend the course. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy, and this is the course on MCQs from Modern Indian History, and this is presented to you by me, Sathvika. You can read about me over here. Please do rate, review and recommend the course, and move into the first question. National pledge is an oath of allegiance to the Republic of India. The one who composed it was Paidimari Venkata Subbarao, Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, Rabindranath Tagore, Gandhi. And the national pledge was written by Paidimari Venkata Subbarao. And Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, as you all know, has written the national song, that is Vande Mataram, and Tagore has written the national anthem, that is Jana Gana Mana. And moving to the next one. National anthem of Bangladesh was written by Rabindranath Tagore, and he wrote it during 1971 Pakistan War, 1905 partition of Bengal, 1947 independence of Bengal, and 1969 Bangladesh liberation struggle. And it was written during the Swadeshi movement, that is 1905 partition of Bengal. Consider the following statements about Annie Besant. She founded the Theosophical Society, started the Home Rule League in partnership with Congress. Use the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. It is wrong that she didn't found the Theosophical Society, but she headed it. That's true. But she didn't. She is not the founder of Theosophical Society, and she started the Home Rule League, but not in partnership with Congress. She started it separately. So even the second statement is incorrect. So the answer is D, neither one nor two. And Theosophical Society was founded by Blavatsky in the city New York. Consider the following statements. Butler Committee Report. Relationship between the Indian states and paramount power. Hutto Committee Report. Growth of education in British India and potentialities of its further progress. Choose the incorrect statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, none of the above. And yes, Butler Committee Report deals with the relationship between Indian states and the paramount power, and Hartog Committee Report deals with the growth of education and its further progress. So the answer here is D, none of the above, as they're asking incorrect statements. And the Butler Committee was appointed in the year 1927 and Hartog Committee in the year 1929. Consider the following events. Indigo Revolt, Santal Rebellion, Deccan Riots, Mutiny of Sepoys. Correct chronological sequence of these events is the first thing that has happened is the Mutiny of Sepoys, and then the Santal Rebellion, and then the Indigo Revolt, and then the Deccan Riot. So the answer is 4, 2, 3, 1. Sorry, 4, 2, 1 Indigo Revolt, then Deccan Riot. So 4, 2, 1, 3. So the answer is A. And please do comment the years in which these took place in the comment section below. And move to the next one. To avoid partition, Gandhi proposed Mountbatten to postpone granting of independence, invite Jinnah to form government, invite Nehru and Jinnah to form the government, none of the above. And Gandhi has proposed to invite Jinnah to form the government, and that means he was ready to leave the government's power, like power to the Jinnah, than to agree to the partition. And moving to the next one. Consider the following statements about the Indian National Congress. Sarojini Naidu was the first woman to be the president of Congress. C.R. Das was in prison when he functioned as president of Congress. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And it's not Sarojini Naidu who was the first president of Congress, it is Annie Besant. So the first statement is incorrect. And yes, C.R. Das was in prison during his presidentship. So the answer here is B, only 2. The last opportunity to avoid partition of India was lost with the rejection of Cripps Mission, CR Formula, Cabinet Mission and Wavell Plan. And it is the Cabinet Mission. So the answer is C. The London branch of the All India Muslim League was established in 1908 under the presidency of Aga Khan, Amir Ali, Liaquat Ali Khan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and the London branch was established by Amir Ali. And Aga Khan is the president of the league in India, and Jinnah and Liaquat Ali were in Congress at that time, and Amir Ali was the judge of the Calcutta High Court and later settled in England, and there he has started the All India Muslim League. London branch of Muslim League. Which of the following acts of British India strengthened the Viceroy's authority over his Executive Council by substituting portfolio or departmental system for corporate functioning? Indian Councils Act 1861, Government of India Act 1858, Indian Councils Act 1992, Indian Councils Act 1909, and it is Indian Councils Act 1861. And the 11th one, consider the following pairs: MacDonald, Communal Award, Linlithgow, Augustopher, Chelmsford, Diarchy. Choose the correct statements. Only 1, 2, only 2, 3, only 1, 3, only 1, 2, 3. And yes, MacDonald is associated with the Communal Award, and Linlithgow is the Viceroy during the Augustofer, and Chelmsford has introduced diarchy through Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. So the answer is D 1, 2, 3. Whitley Commission is about review of conditions of India for constitutional reforms, develop a comprehensive scheme for civil services, draw a plan for financial reforms, report on existing conditions of labor, and to make recommendations. And the Whitley Commission is about a report on existing conditions of labor and to make recommendations, if any. So the answer is D. Ilbert Bill deals with bringing both Indians and Europeans on par with criminal jurisdiction of courts, restrictions on freedom of press, allow native Indians to possess arms, none of the above. And it deals with the bringing Indians and Europeans on par in criminal jurisdiction of the courts. The answer is A. And this has also learnt many of the moderates and nationalists about how the struggle should be and how to win over the government to pass its requirements. And moving to the next one. Who among the following drafted a resolution on fundamental rights for the Karachi section of Congress in 1931? Ambedkar, Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Motilal Nehru. And it was Jawaharlal Nehru, that is C, who has passed the resolution in Karachi session for fundamental rights in 1931. Consider the following statements. In first roundtable conference, Ambedkar demanded separate electorates for the depressed classes. INC did not participate in the second roundtable conference. Choose the correct statements. Only one, only two, both one and two, neither one nor two. And yes, in first roundtable conference, Ambedkar has demanded the separate electorates for depressed classes. So one is true. And INC did participate in second roundtable conference. We all know that Gandhi-Irwin Pact has taken place before the second roundtable conference, and with that pact, Gandhi has agreed to attend the second roundtable conference. So he did participated in the second roundtable conference. So the second statement is incorrect. Only one is the right one. And INC did not participate in the first and third roundtable conferences. So the answer here is A, and that is INC did not participate in first and third roundtable conference. And this ends our most of the probable questions from ancient, medieval, modern and art and culture series of history. And don't feel bad if you have been scoring the low scores. Just open your book and revise it again, and I'm sure you will be confident over and mark good answers in the exam. And thank you. Have a nice day.